Welcome to Futureproof Business. Smart strategies, real insights, and tools to lead and scale in a fast-changing world. Let's future-proof your success.
Welcome to the Futureproof Business Podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Rosenstein. Today I have the honor of interviewing Stefanie Carlstedt. Stefanie, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Can you share with the audience a little bit about yourself and your background?
Yeah, for sure. So I have been an entrepreneur for almost 13 years. I always say that I was always the person that never felt like I quite fit into the normal trajectory of everyone around me. Went to college, I got the degree, I got the quote unquote perfect job out of college. And I almost instantly realized this wasn't for me. I was shrinking. I was frustrated. Felt unheard. And so I knew I wasn't going to survive there. So I dove headfirst into entrepreneurship after my dad was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's, just so I could build something and be there for him through that process. And I built this big business, and 10 years down the road, I lost my dad and I lost that business in the same month. And that's when kind of grief cracked me wide open to the fact that I was building in a way that felt not sustainable. It felt frustrating. I was overwhelmed. I was just bitter, right, for the business life. And I felt like I was following all the trends, all the gurus, all the things that were taught. And I had completely misaligned myself from myself before the world told me who to be. And so that's when human design came into my life. And I've been building a business based on that, helping entrepreneurs feel seen, heard, understood, validated, so they can finally build a business that feels good and not one that feels overwhelming, exhausting, and at the end of the day, one they don't even want to show up to.
Thank you so much for sharing about that. So you obviously are an expert in business because you've been doing it for a really long time. What are you doing now?
So right now, I am a certified high performance coach and human design guide, really just helping entrepreneurs, business owners uncover their design and really intertwine that into their business, put that into their business so they can learn they're meant to speak, how they're meant to move, how they're meant to make decisions, what feels good, what lights them up. Because what I've noticed is that every single client I have has a completely different business at the end of our work together, because we're not meant to fit the mold. We're not meant to be in the hustle, the grind, and the viral trends and tactics. We are meant to find our own unique blueprint in business. And that's what human design can do.
For the people in the audience who, are not familiar with human design, can you maybe explain a little bit more about what is human design?
Yeah, for sure. So first of all, I'll explain what it's not, because I think a lot of people, myself included, in the beginning had a misconception. So lots of times people think that it's just another personality test like Enneagram or Strengths Finders or Myers-Briggs, just to name a few, but it's completely different than that. Those are answered from a conditioned mind. Like I say, they are answered from a mind that has been through societal conditioning, been through trauma, been through hard, and maybe has fixed in some areas that's really not them. So when you read those reports, is it really you at the end of the day? But human design is completely different. It's what I say, written in the stars for you. It's exactly when you're born, the place, the time, the date, and 3 months prior to that. And it creates a chart. It creates a design for you. And I've had probably 600 people get my design breakdown for their business, and I have not had one person come back and say, this is not me. I don't feel like this is. They feel validated. They feel like everything just opens up, and everything they desire starts to come in when they follow and trust this design. So it really is. It's made from ancient modalities, but it comes together around exactly when you were born and where you were born.
And that sounds a little bit like astrology.
It's not really, but there's pieces of it that have to do with astrology, but it really is. It has like Vedic philosophy, it has I Ching, it has several different modalities that are ancient. And then there was a guy named Ra Uru who really took this design and created it from the ground up. And then other people, the manifesting generators and the generators in human design, have taken it, and really there's scientific research with it now and all the things. So we've molded it into what it is today.
Sounds really interesting. What first drew you to human design since you were doing such different things in the past? 'Cause
Yeah,
that's definitely something like out of the box.
it really is. And I think that's why I put it off for so long, because I had heard about human design, but I put it off because that's not normal. That's not something that everybody else is doing. Everybody else is following the trends, the gurus, the checklists. And when human design fell in my lap, I say it just fell in my lap when I needed it the most. My sister-in-law actually texted me and she said, "Do you know your human design?" And I said, "No, but I think it's fluff, but I'll read it anyway." And I remember sitting on the couch reading my design and almost tearing up because I felt like I was finally understood. And all those years, I felt like I was different, but I still shifted into this mold of society and business, but I never felt completely good and just passionate and joyous in it. And now that I know my design, I feel so good and validated and seen and heard, and the way I move and the way my voice is heard. And it's your human design even shows you who you're here to help and the environments you thrive in. It's very fascinating. So the more I dug into it, I was like, oh, this is the real deal. It's We are in a new era of the individual, and we can no longer follow the trends, the virality that's falling to the wayside, and people don't trust it anymore. It's not working. And so you have to find what is unique to you in order to survive in business, is what I believe.
And so what compelled you to actually become like a human design and performance coach? Because I take it to a whole new level. There's a difference between reading like your human design chart on your couch, but then now you're actually helping other people. What drove you to do that?
When I actually sat down and thought about how I built my first business, because I helped hundreds of people step into the online space in my first business. And first of all, I gave my chart to my husband and my kids and my friends, and every single person came back like almost in tears. Wow, this is me. How does it know this? They tell me more, right? And then when I got to thinking about my love for online business, my love for entrepreneurship, I love working with entrepreneurs. They are my favorite people to work with. And I got to thinking about all the hundreds of people that I tried to help in the beginning, but the ones that were successful ended up burning out, ended up quitting, and there are many that were not successful. And now I know why. It's because I treated them all the same. I gave them the same checklist, the same steps, the same things to do. And it can't be that way. So that's why my coaching packages, my coaching clients are all completely unique. So it was just really being able to see that and reach back to the entrepreneurial community and be like, okay, now I know what was wrong and now I can help you move forward.
That sounds really amazing. So what is you think like missing in business strategies today that why you saw so many entrepreneurs not like you said like a lot of people that's not making a business and like the stat this is like 9 out of 10 business fail. It's like human design fit into that.
Yeah. So there is a lot of again, the virality, the trends that people try to follow. They hop on this bandwagon. And when they get there, it doesn't feel good. And when you are misaligned to your human design, you will block your success. You will block the people that need to come in. So, for instance, I'll give you some examples because I feel like that's the best way. So, as a manifesting generator, I am here to move fast, pivot fast, have lots of different ideas and projects going on at the same time. That's my nature. I need to keep moving. I need to keep being in movement in order to allow my abundance, allow the results to come in. That's just a very brief description of me. A projector has to work in small bursts of energy, 2 to 4 hours a day on the same task. They're very efficient, but they cannot work like an energy being like a manifesting generator or a generator. And when they're given these checklists or these funnels or these ways of interacting with human beings on the internet that don't are aligned with their design, because projectors are supposed to wait for the invitation. They're not supposed to go out and cold message people. That's just one type of thing. And then your environment too, you have to know where you work best and who you need to be around in order to bring out your genius, the art that you have inside of you. And so there's a lot of different facets to it. I don't know if that helps answer it, but it's really these things that we've been following and trusting are meant for the one specific person that had success with it. And that's not going to be you because you're completely different.
So does it human design actually, like you're saying, like most people know, like you said, the human design chart and more about their personality and what environment they thrive in. Does it tell you like what action steps you need to take? Or is that kind of like up to the individual to interpret like, oh, okay, so my personality is more outgoing or passive, and maybe I thrive in this particular environment?
Yeah. So it doesn't really, so human design is so different from the normal personality test. It doesn't really say you're outgoing or whatever. It really tells you your energy type. So, how you're meant to thrive, how you're meant to move through the world, how you're meant to interact with people, how you're meant to make decisions. For instance, for me, I am a sacral being. So, I am meant to know the answer right away, yes or no, if something feels good, and listen to that gut response. If I don't listen to it and I bypass it, and listen to society's norms or the person that gave me this checklist. If I do what she said to do and it doesn't feel good to me, I will block off my success. There's emotional authority where people need to wait for their emotional highs and lows to be, if they get really excited about something in business, they can't say yes right away. They have to wait because a lot of times they end up regretting it if they don't wait for their emotional highs and lows to be complete. So there are so many different things that go into your human design that you can put into your business. And actually, if you download my free report, it gives you the high level version of what you can do as a business owner for your human design. So you it doesn't exactly tell, you have to have a business coach that is versed in human design to be able to tell you how to take this and put this into your business.
That was kind of like leads to my next question, because like you said, you also do high performance coaching. So I wanted to ask you, how do you integrate this human design with your performance coaching?
Yeah. So that's one thing that I learned with high performance coaching. For me, anyway, this is how I felt about it, is that I love high performance coaching and I think it's a great tool. But when I was asking the same questions to everybody, it's not beneficial. So my mission is to find out their human design first and then help them with high performance coaching to see what actually will work in their life in order to get them to the best results in their relationships, in their business, in their health, because we are all different. Human design actually tells us how our bodies are best meant to exercise. So everything goes into it. Yeah, high performance coaching is great, but you have to know the individual on a deeper level before you can do that coaching.
That's really amazing. I have something I definitely want to look into. I also, I've heard about human design, but I haven't really done like a deep dive. I thought it was similar to personality test. Nice. So
Yeah, that's what most people do, and I think that people are starting to open up and be curious about it because it's not like a personality test. They're starting to understand that, and that's really my mission, is to get this out there to as many people as we can, because like I said, we are in that new era of the individual, and we have to understand ourselves in order to flourish in business. We can't do the cookie cutter things anymore. They just don't work.
yeah, that sounds like definitely applies to me, because a lot of times when I tried these cookie cutter approaches, it doesn't work because I a lot of times think differently than a lot of other people. I just have like
Mhm.
my brain is wired in its own unique way, and I have to figure out on my own what really works.
Yeah.
So you mentioned before about the importance of building a business with energetic alignment. Can you explain what exactly does that mean? How can like, entrepreneurs, business owners, executives really flourish, running their business with energetic alignment?
So, energetic alignment is really your energetic blueprint in your human design. So, that's the overarching theme of what it is. If you are not matched with your energy type, which there are 5 different energy types: manifesting generators, projectors, reflectors, and manifestors. So, if you don't understand that piece of you, you will burn out, and you will burn out hard in business. And even if you're an energy type, you will burn out if you are misaligned with your energy. And so many times people think we should all be that way. When I talk about generators, people are like, we should all love what we do, but generators have to do that more because they are an energy being and they are the light of the world. And we have to be surrounded by generators who love what they do in order for us to be lit up as well. if you're just, if you're not following the closer you can be to your design, the more magnetic your business will become. And the further away from your design, the more frustrated, exhausted, bitter you will just live in that constant feeling, which is where I was before I found human design.
But like you're saying, like we shouldn't follow like what you were saying before, follow the gurus, follow the human design. But then you're saying like it doesn't really give you the action steps. So how does like human design really teach us how to be better business leaders? If you're managing a team of people, how does that like really impact? Because like it sounds like you said it's really more at the personal level, but then it's like if somebody's a business manager or an executive and they're managing a group of people, whether it's 10, 50, 100, 1,000, how does the human design like help them become a better business leader?
Yeah. I've been on several podcasts about leadership, and I have a corporate team offer as well. But so it's important, but self-leadership has to come first. So you have to understand yourself first in order to be able to lead your team best, because you need to have the boundaries that you need. And I believe as a leader, you need to know at least your team's energy type, because we are all different and we are all unique. And if possible, if it's a new team that's being built, if possible, to have every single energy type in there so you can work the best together, because we each have a specific piece of the puzzle for humanity, for a team. And so self-leadership is the key in understanding yourself first. And then I believe, yes, it is a very important to understand your people, because probably 99% of the corporate people I talk to are burnt out, frustrated, don't like their job. They just go because they are not seen, they're not validated, they're not heard in the way they need to be heard. Projectors need to be validated more than other people. So it's just you have to understand this about your people and yourself in order to build the legacy, build the team that is going to transform the way you want it to.
So as part of like when you're coaching, do you like offer, I guess, coaching how to become like either a better leader or
Mhm.
better marketer based on the human design chart?
Yep.
So you have, I guess, like different strategies for different human, depending on
Yeah.
different human design.
Yes. There's marketing, there's your voice, there's again your environment, there's your vibe of tribe, which we talk about, which are the people that you see the best and who gravitate towards you when the easiest when you're living in your design. There's how you make decisions. Again, there's so many different facets of it. And yes, it can help in every single area of your business.
It sounds like really amazing. How many, I was curious to know, you said there's different human design. What was it like? You said they're not personas, but they're, I guess, like types. Like how many
Yeah,
different
so
types are there?
there's 5 of the overarching theme. There's 5 of those types, but then within that, like if then you the next level is your authority and there's 8 of those, and the next level is your profile and there's 15 of those. So it goes, you're very unique once you get down to the bottom of it. And your human design actually even tells you your life's purpose, your what you're here to evolve in and do and for people and for yourself. So it goes very deep, but the highest level is most people say, yeah, I'm a manifesting generator. That's the only thing that they know about themselves.
I got you. So it goes really deep. You're saying it's not like a surface level like assessment saying
No,
no.
it goes very deep. There's so many nuances in it, and it's very fascinating. And it's so fun to see each client that I read like a piece of their design too, and they're like, how I don't understand how that is accurate. It's always accurate. It's never the only time that people have been like, oh, maybe not, is because they had to work a little through some conditioning that they've been taught in their upbringing. And then once we work through that, it's wow, I am so me now and it feels so good.
So like you say, it's comprehensive. What areas does it go into? Like you say, like because you keep saying it's not like a personality test. So it shows, like you said, the way you communicate to like with other people. So the type of communicator. Can you explain a little bit more? Because maybe some people in the audience may not fully understand what that means. Because like you're saying, some
Yeah.
people are more quieter. You have to like maybe you can explain a little bit more about how does it really work with a different.
So yeah. So the highest level is, like I said, the energy, the For instance, some people need more rest, and you have to understand that about yourself. Some people need to expend their energy in things that they love. If they don't, they will always be burnt out and frustrated, and it will bleed out into other people. Some people are here to initiate a process, to initiate a new way of doing things and kind of light that fire. And then they work in bursts, and then they have to rest for a few days. And you have to understand that energy part. It's not a personality thing, it's an energy, like how you're meant to move through the world. And then you can go deeper into your profile, which for me, I have a 3-5 profile. So, for example, my 3 profile is all about trial and error. I am meant to trial and error the heck out of things, fall down more times than most people, get back up, run into things, fall down again, and then finally figure out what works and shout it out and tell everybody what works, which is, I believe, what I'm living out now. Then the 5 part of my line is more logical. It's more step by step. It's more so I have these lines that clash. Then we have a line 6 where it's more of a 3-part life, and goes into that. The ones are really, they need to know deep dive every single thing. So if you have a vibe of tribe or people that see you the most in their line 1s, then you have to share testimonials more than most people. It tells you that, like, how do you market your business? How do you get in touch with the people that need to hear your voice, and how is your voice heard? For me, podcasting is a no-brainer for me because that's how people need to hear me. And gosh, so many nuances. Like I said, your life's purpose is very individualized. Your superpowers, you actually have superpowers within your chart on what specific thing you're supercharged in that you can help people with. So I don't know if that answers your question. It's really hard to not have a specific chart
Yeah.
in front of me to be like this, but it's every single piece of who you are in your
Well,
business.
I was going to ask you, can you maybe share with us like an example of how like you worked with a business owner and you worked with a chart and then give them that information from human design, it shifted the way they ran their business?
Yeah, for sure. So one of my most recent clients, she has a business that she came to me and she was very frustrated, overwhelmed. Her sales weren't coming in. She was just like clinging so tight to these sales, and her family needed them, and she was just in a really bad place. So she invested in coaching with me. And the first step is I always take them through their human design. I explain, because when you download your human design, if you get my free chart and you download it, it's going to look gibberish. You're going to have no idea what it means, but that is why I have the free PDF that goes with it. And you can start to see bits and pieces of you in business in your design. So that's the first thing we do is we go through it deep into her design. And then I figure out what her goals are. I ask her all the specific questions I need to ask her about every single facet of her business. What Rate it from 1 to 10. Where are you at? Why is it not a 10? What would it look like as a 10? So that's what we go off of. And then I really just listen to her. I take a lot of time to listen to her, to help her feel her chart out, because sometimes we've never seen ourselves so deeply and so true that we need to really grasp it and talk it out. So we talk it out. And then I helped her create three different extra income portals for her in her business that felt good, that felt aligned, and that are match her profile and her strategy and how she's meant to make decisions and help people. And I checked in with her. We did a lot of other work, but I checked in with her yesterday actually, and she is fully booked for the next 2 months. And she's just so excited. She feels like herself. She's not clinging to the sales anymore because she lives in that truth of her design and the knowing of when she is living out her energy and her decision-making process, because that's the biggest one, is a decision-making process, and her purpose and her gifts and her superpowers. That's where she's shining and she's finding the results.
Oh, that sounds really amazing. So you offer like this like magnetic business sessions. What if like in a business owner, entrepreneur interested in hiring you to get a magnetic business session, what can they expect from the
So
session?
those are my free sessions where I really want to gauge if we're a good fit to work together, if that would be something that they would want to do. But really it is this, I have a questionnaire when they start, and it's just really, again, what is your business? What is your website? Where are you at in your business? What are you struggling with? I go through their clarity in their business, their love for their business, their belief in their business. We figure out where they're lacking and if their income is coming in, if it's not. And then I go into how human design can help them in that specific place, that specific piece. And so those are the sessions where it's really, is this a good fit? Because I like to figure that out first before we jump into working together. I think that's the best thing to do. So those are just free sessions to help you see if human design business coaching is for you.
So after you do that, what are some of the type of offers do you have? Do you offer one-on-one coaching with business owners, executives, entrepreneurs, or do you do like through programs? And
Yeah. So I do have, like I said, a corporate team offer, which I could really do for any team, a network marketing team, a corporate team, business team. But so that I have that. And then I have one-on-one coaching that's very individualized. Right. My coaching packages are not the same. I don't have you do this and you do this and you do this because it's different for everybody. And then I do have a one-on-one, just 1 hour deep dive of your human design. That's not business related. That's just you and your design. So yeah, those are the main offers that I have. And I have a self-paced self-study course as well.
do you work with business owners, entrepreneurs in any particular industry, or is it like across the board with any industry?
Yeah, across the board. Coaches, network marketers, teams, corporate teams. Yeah, it's just across the board. Everybody who is really trying to better their systems, better their process, become a better leader. Because even if you're a solopreneur, you have to be a better leader. Your voice needs to be heard. Yeah.
So what type of like entrepreneurs or business executives benefit the most from like your services?
I would say the ones who are willing to embrace the change that has to happen within themselves to meet their design, and the ones who have been, I always want to work with the ones who have been in business for at least a year so they've really tried some things and really can see why they're struggling. Does that make sense? Not
Mm.
at the very beginning stage of business, but at least a year so they know what they've tried and so I can help them see why it didn't work.
So when you work with like clients and stuff, how do you measure success?
I measure success by looking at their form they fill out before we work together and hitting those numbers and hitting that goal. And if not hitting that goal, being on trajectory to hit it. Because at the end of the day, every single client I have has a different goal. It's not always income, right? Of course, income comes with it, but sometimes it's just I want to finally feel good in my business. I really don't like it, but I don't want to go back to a corporate job. So it's just it ebbs and flows. That's how I gauge it, is when they leave our working together, have they attained that goal? Yeah.
So you've been through like this journey for some time now, like, you know,
Mhm.
figure out who you are and what is it you're really here to do on this earth. And you yourself have tried a lot of different things. Well, how has like your own journey impacted how like you coach other people?
Yeah. I just know that because I've been through so much and so much trial and error, which is my design, that I know that the only way to find success is as individualized as you can get in the way you put your work out there, the way you do your work, the way you share your work, everything. I think that's the biggest takeaway, is that until you get individualized and stop and shut out the noise of everybody else around you, you will struggle. And especially in 2025 and moving forward.
Yeah, and it's really amazing. Now you have this like super powerful tool, human design. And I'm curious to know a little bit more about these superpowers. Like what superpowers are they going to tell me? I mean, obviously like I could become like Superman. What
Yeah.
my and the fly around and
Yeah.
save the
No,
world.
that's just a word that I use for them.
I like that word.
Yeah, it's just like you're supercharged in a specific area. For instance, my My husband has a superpower in leadership. That's literally, if you read his chart, if you read any of his life's purpose, he is here to lead a team. Like, he is here to be a leader. And that's been super empowering for him. Mine is to evolve and really transform. And I actually have the life's purpose, the core four of the new era of the individual, which is very rare. So that means that I am literally here to live out my individuality and help everybody else do it in business.
So what are some like common flags that like business owners or executives, entrepreneurs, they're not in like energetic alignment with their own design? Are there any particular red flags that you notice?
Oh yeah, frustration, exhaustion. If you are grasping for that next sale, if you, I mean, it really is, you have a shadow side and a light side of your design. So for me, mine is frustration. And that's where I was living. I was frustrated all the time. I'm like, I'm doing this. No sales are coming in. I'm doing all this work. Why? This is frustrating. I'm not seeing what I need to see. I just might as well quit and go back to corporate. That's the mindset you have all the time. And you're frustrated. Like, when you talk to business owners who aren't living their design, they say, oh, business ownership is so hard. It's frustrating. I don't know why it's not working. And when you talk to ones that are aligned, they're like, it's so amazing. I love it every day. I don't feel like I'm like just clinging to every sale. I love working with my clients, because the clients that are aligned to you will come into you when you are living in your design. And probably, if you're listening to this and you're a coach or even a leader or whatever, you have probably worked with people that you don't want to work with again. And I have worked with several of those, and that doesn't happen anymore because of my authenticity that's shining through my design. And we all mean to be authentic. We all want to be authentic, but it's so easy to get trapped in the world of, they did it this way, so let me try it that way too. Or the comparison trap, the trap of, let me just tweak it a little bit because this might be a little bit more, this might be what works best because that's what she said. So we try to be authentic, but we oftentimes fall off of it.
Make a good point, because a lot of people like coaches these days talk about the importance about being authentic, and that's really important. That's what a lot of people want to see. But the question is, how do you be authentic? How do you know yourself? As you said,
Yeah,
like, a lot of people
exactly.
try things and because you're following like a guru told you like this is the way to do things, but it's not
It's
working out. Like, you're trying to be authentic because you don't really know yourself.
Yeah. It's so easy to get trapped in it. And I was there for 10 years. I thought I was being authentic and had my own business that was mine, but I was actually following everything that everybody else told me to do. And I completely lost myself in it.
So I want to ask you a question about what you mentioned before. Like, if you're leading a team, you said it's a good idea for people to have different human design types. Can you maybe explain a little bit more about that? Why is that good to have people from like different human design types? How does it enrich like a team and make like a company run better?
Yeah. I think it's so powerful because every single person, every single type has a piece of the puzzle in a team, in humanity. Manifestors are meant to initiate new ideas, new things, new processes. They are meant to just get it off the ground and be like, here. And manifesting generators and generators take it. They're the energy beings, they run with it. Generators are step-by-step process. Manifesting generators are all over the place, trying it in different ways, failing down, figuring it out. Projectors are here to see people and see systems better than they see themselves. Projectors have a very penetrating aura. So when they are in a group of people, they see those people better than they see themselves. It's really cool. I have a friend who's a projector, and it's so true. She's, really, Steph, are you really? And she can see me better than I can see myself. But they are the ones that need more rest because that's exhausting. You can go to a team outing and come home as a projector and feel like you're hungover, even when you haven't been drinking, because you have such that aura that you can feel the energy of other people. And then reflectors are here to reflect everything back. So they look at the process from above and just reflect everything back onto everybody else in the team. So that's just a little bit, but see how everything kind of pieces together. It'd be hard if you ran your team's charts and every single person was a projector. That means that you gotta get some energy beings in there.
It's so fascinating because it seems like almost like we're running our lives unconsciously.
Oh,
We're just
100%. And
randomly doing things, like you said, like hiring people, building
Mhm.
teams. We don't even know what we're doing or the type of people we're hiring.
Yeah, and I'm doing a have a friend that I'm working with in the UK who we're gonna do like a little trial and error thing on LinkedIn with corporate teams where the leaders run their corporate teams reports and just kind of see what they get, see what they, who they have. And then we help make sense of why they're struggling, why there's burnout, why there's frustration. It's very rare that I talk to people who love what they do every day. And it's time to stop that.
That is amazing. If people can really learn who they really are and figure out their purpose, be more meaningful and be really authentic versus the
Yeah.
fake authentic, that would be really amazing. And
Yeah,
so
for sure.
we have this. How long has human design been around?
Since 1972.
And very few people like know about it.
Yeah. A lot of people have heard about it, but they just, again, chalk it up to fluff or another personality test. But yeah, it's starting to become more known because we are in this era of the individual and it's so that piece is starting to become known. But yeah, I got a lot of work to do to get it out there.
This is what happens if somebody keeps ignoring their own like inner authority, like they're not really listening to their intuition
Mm.
and they rely on usually decision making and business was just more what they think based on the numbers. The numbers say this. It's not what their intuition from the human design is saying.
Yeah. Yeah. So their authority is that decision-making process, like I mentioned earlier. Some of us are in the know, gut response, yes, no, go with it. Some of us need to wait for the emotional waves to get done. Some of us need to listen for that quick intuitive hit of it's really all about you mentioned we're living life unconsciously and it's really coming into our body consciously and not and shutting out every single thing out there, every other idea, every other agenda, everybody else's opinions about anything in life, especially your business, and just really listening to your authentic voice. And that's when you're going to find the success that you want. I tell everybody if you struggle with any piece of your design, let's go back to your authority, and then everything else will start to make sense.
If you thought like human design was required in all business schools,
Mm.
what would be the first thing that you would teach?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I believe and I want human design to be in schools. I want it to be in colleges. I think that the more we can know our students, the more we can know our peers, like the better, right? The more success we're going to have as humanity. So the first thing I would teach them is probably their energy type at the highest level, because that when we bypass that is when we get burnt out and we burn out fast. And that's why we have the negative emotions and the frustration. So yeah, definitely the energy type is, I think, the first part where I would start.
That's cool. So how does like human design impact how we have business meetings? Because that's like a big part of business, like running meetings and stuff. How does like knowing about human design impact the way we run meetings?
Yeah. I think it's huge. I think that when you have a meeting with your team, it's going to be essential for you to understand their designs, because some people are meant to help in other areas of the business, of the team. Some people, like I said, are meant to see systems and people better than they see themselves. So they need to have a part in helping redefine that, refine that system and step in to help accomplish that. And then we need to have manifestors that have that ability to initiate new things, give them a chance to have a new idea, ask them the question, would you have any ideas? What do you see that is missing that hasn't been started yet that you can initiate? And just and the projectors especially need to be validated and seen also because they can see other people so well. So really just being able to validate them and see them and then giving the step-by-step process to a high energy being like the generators that that lights them up. If it's something figure out what lights them up in the business and then let them go do it, because that is how you're going to build a strong team. Yeah.
So if you had to redesign like in like a corporate structure using human design, what will you like change first in the corporate structure?
The leader, probably, as far as just knowing that they need to know themselves first. That's where I always start, is the leader. The manager, the team leader, no, they have to understand themselves first. So it's just a private thing on their own. So that way they can start seeing, oh, this is real, this is true, versus doing everything all at once with everybody. So that would be the first place to start. And then coming in individually with each team member to do theirs and understand them more. I think it'd be good for a team bonding exercise, just to get people to on the same level and get people to be able to see their team in a different light, to see their team for who they're meant to be and how they're designed to be.
So if you were like to build, you also mentioned you can help with the marketing. If you were going to help build like a marketing funnel for somebody, how will it be different for a reflector design type versus a generator design type?
Yeah. So generators are very step-by-step process, right? So theirs will be more like the typical funnel that you would see, that you would talk about. But it's not like something that they've been taught. We figure out where they're at now, where they want to get, and what steps feel good along the way. Because if you have a step that doesn't feel good, if you don't love to do email marketing, then don't do it. Because if you have more than one piece of your business every day that you don't love, it's going to drain you and you're going to be frustrated. So there are so many other ways to build a business, especially today, and people need to hear your voice, especially with reflectors. They have this ability to reflect back yourself back on you, what, the system as a whole, what is needing to be heard. And so hearing their voice, so podcasting is great for them. It's not, they are supposed to wait 28 days to make big decisions, a full lunar cycle so they need to, and they are chameleons when it comes to their environment. They are different around each environment that they're in. So for them, it's not going to look like the typical funnel. It's going to look more like getting their voice out there in all the different ways that they can. Yeah.
So can human design help people overcome imposter syndrome, perfectionism?
Oh, for sure. It's helped me. It's helped me overcome all of that because, again, once you understand your design and your type and your authority and your profile and everything else in between, you no longer feel bad for showing up authentically you. For me, I was like, this is so wrong. I am not the normal. I'm not supposed to move in this way. I'm not supposed to fall down so much and trial and error and kind of look like I'm flaky. But that's actually my design. And so I feel so good about, if I don't love something, I stop it and I go do something else. And so it helps with that. It helps with the imposter syndrome because, again, when we're following another guru or another trend or something someone else taught us and it doesn't feel good for us or it doesn't work for us, then we think it's us. We think there's something wrong with us. And it's not. It's because it's not for our design. It's not for how we were meant to build. So yeah, it takes away imposter syndrome, perfectionism, all of it, because lots of people come to me and they're like, I am literally doing everything I can think of. I am making 20,000 drafts of my post before I actually post it. And that goes away. Yeah.
So what do you wish like every startup founder, like before they actually start their business, wish they knew about
Oh,
like,
wish
they
before they start their
with all
business.
the human design knowledge, like before they even start their business?
Yeah. I think that's the first step. I see so many people posting on social media, I need to make money. How do I make it? And then you have all these people commenting like this. I would love to show you how. Just stop. Just slow down, stop. Learn your human design. Learn how you're meant to move through the world, what your purpose is, what your passions truly are. Because if you want that money, to come in and you're doing it in a way that doesn't feel authentic to you and you're doing it in a way that other people found success with because that was them, you're going to shrink yourself and you're going to wake up one day like I did and wonder what happened. And you're not going to feel like you. So before you start a business, if you haven't started one yet, learn your human design first because you'll be ahead of the game. You won't have to mess with any of that other stuff.
So what is like one human design shift people can start like immediately?
That probably the energy type and the authority, the decision-making process. I think as long as you follow those two, energy type and authority, you'll start to really get a sense of, oh, this is actually real. This actually is how I'm meant to move, decide, lead. So yeah, I think those two.
So if somebody's interested in, from the audience and interested in working with you, what are the best ways they can reach out to you?
So I will give you the link to my free chart. You're going to download it and you're going to be like, what is this? So you'll have to click the PDF button so you can do that. And then I also have a free audio that has a little bit about your design and business. And so make sure you do that because it will be game changing, even if you just stop there. But I also, in the show notes, we can also put my private podcast. I have a private podcast that's just 5 episodes just for business owners in human design. And that will also help you. So it will be game changing. It'll change your life. It'll change your business. So definitely check those out.
Stefanie, do you have any final words you'd like to share with the audience before we wrap up our conversation for today?
I don't think so. I think I'm just so grateful to be here and get this word out to everybody. And I hope that it helped at least one person out there today.
Well, Stefanie, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing about your life's journey and your experiences and teaching us about human design and its importance. It definitely feels like it is very important. You said, especially that we're coming into a new era of individuality where a lot of people are starting to question like the gurus or these influencers online. And there's a big issue about who do you really trust?
Yeah. And
And
that will continue with AI as well. I don't fear AI, but it will continue. And so that is why you have to find your voice. You have to find your authentic self in this whole thing. It's important because people can see right through it.
to me, AI is like a tool that helps people figure out, like you said, potential action steps or as a good research tool, but you need to give AI a direction. And
Yes.
even design can give the AI,
Oh,
give you ideas of what
I
problems ask AI to give direction. So if you know the right way to market, the right way to run a business, how to talk to people, then you can better use AI.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Do not go to AI and ask for your human design type because it could be wrong. I had a client who just decided to try it and it was completely wrong. So just make sure that you actually go through a chart, the formatted chart process.
Definitely. Most definitely. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.